Hi, I'm Carl. Welcome to Living Outside the Grid. Um, so this is kind of a nonprofit channel where I want to share my experiences and wisdoms and knowledge about how to escape the rat race. So, what is the rat race? Well, I think you know. It's the basically the way that we're kind of funneled into living, right? Um, you have to get a job. You have to use the job to pay for housing, and then you have to buy food, of course, from a grocery store. And the food is made in an industrial system, agricultural food system, right? Um, Gosh, there's so many different avenues to talk about with this, but you need transportation, right? You need transportation. You need insurance. You need healthcare. You need, oof, the list goes on and on and on, right? Before you know it, you're spending more money than you're making, or you're living paycheck to paycheck, hand to mouth, and there just doesn't seem to be any way to get ahead. You feel almost like you're a wage slave. You might even be working two jobs just to pay for the expensive apartment, and you're like, why is this apartment so expensive? It's not like a luxury suite here. I'm paying, whatever it is you're paying. I don't know what the average rent is. It's pretty darn expensive these days. And I just want to say that I used to live that way. I used to scramble and work and 40 hours a week. Oh, big old dark circles under my eyes. But I escaped and I figured out something that most people I think have overlooked. It's something that was so simple that I guess that's why everybody just kind of missed it. Not everybody, but a lot of people. And one is that this whole thing that I figured out is that there are two sides of the economic coin. One, in terms of your life, one is you can either earn more money to get ahead, or, and this is the one that everybody misses, you can save more money, right? So if you earn more money, you actually have to pay taxes on that. And so you have to earn about 25 or 30% more than what you would normally have to do if you save that money. So if you earn $1, you actually only get 70 cents more because of taxes and whatnot. In fact, I'd say you even get less because you have a lot of other expenses around getting to work and so forth. Expenses you might not even have considered. And those expenses, when you add them all up, if you didn't need them, then in a way, those are kind of like draws on your income. So I'll bet you spend, I know when I was working in the rat race, I spent easily, between lunches and gas and maintenance on the car because I'm driving it every day. And, oh gosh, so many things. It all added up. I bet you I was spending 40% of my income on all that stuff. And then I added on to that the instant dinners I had to buy because I just didn't have the energy or the emotional like batteries left to make my own food. It's like I had to buy the TV dinners or the chicken McNuggets or whatever, all that stuff that made me sick because I wasn't eating what we've always eaten throughout time, which is just meat and vegetables, just simple, real food that you make from scratch. And it's not that hard to do. So, anyway, I didn't have time to do that. And so, I was just like, I felt like I was kind of like working my butt off, it's kind of like treading water, really, you know? And, and you just feel like there's no way out. But there is a way out, and I found it. And here's my story. Okay, so 10 years ago, I think my expenses were easily $2,500 a month, and I was pretty low expenses, but it was still difficult to come up with that money every month in order to like pay the mortgage payment and so forth. But I was able to kind of start from scratch with raw land and slowly build myself up using a lot of used materials, using my own skills, learning skills along the way, um, becoming more and more self sufficient, more and more empowered all along the way. And since I started out kind of at the bottom rung of the lifestyle ladder, I started out living on my land in a tent. Then every step of the way has been an improvement in my life. When I went from a tent to a mouse infested RV that I got for $600, that was an improvement. So you can set it up so that your life gets better every year and still reduce your costs and overall expenses down, 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 down. You know what my expenses are right now? About 400 to 500 a month. It's a little bit with the cost of food these days, that's going up so much. It's probably closer to about 500 now, but it used to be about 400. And that includes property taxes, transportation, everything. And the reason why it's so low is because when you jump outside the grid, you you can have a huge drop in your costs, in your expenses. And so what's the big deal? Well, how much you spend is related to how much you consume. And how much we all consume is related to how much pollution we make, how much whatever, carbon dioxide we put into the atmosphere. If you're concerned about that, all kinds of things, are basically the result of the industrial system. And we're a part of it until we're not. And we can do it. What I'm saying is that when I've not completely exited the industrial system. I'm still living in America, and it's pretty darn hard to be completely separate from it. But I have minimized my uh, dependence on it, and every day I minimize it a little bit more. And you can too. And here's what I found. I found that by doing that, I have much more free time. Much more free time. And that's just a wonderful thing. It really, really is. Because time is the one thing we don't get back, right? So we all have dreams. We all have a vision about how we would like our life to be. And the people that we work for, God bless them, they're paying for our expensive lifestyle. But they have dreams. And that's why they hired us, so that they can get us to help them build their dreams. Whereas, who's building our dreams if we're busy building someone else's dreams? So, all I'm saying is that there's a different path than just trying to make more and more and more money, trying to save that money in the stock market. Oh, look at my portfolio. Oh my God, look at the stock market crashed, How many people, it's really sad. I remember in the 2009, 2010, 2011. I remember the aftermath of the '08 financial collapse, which was, in some sense, a big steal. All those people that have been putting money into the stock market with their paychecks every month, like a savings account, like a Christmas, savings account. They thought they could get their money back. They thought they would even maybe get more. But oh gosh, they lost it all. And it's gone. That's kind of the nature of the game. And I think I realized that a long time ago because in the 80s I lived in Reno for a while. And I literally saw people throwing their money away into slot machines, which were rigged to basically steal their money slowly over time. They might win every now and then, but on the whole, they're losing. Otherwise, that machine would not be there. And the same thing is true with the stock market. You know, that stock market is kind of like this black box machine that's supposed to make money for you. It's supposed to have oh, look at that, 3 sevens came up. That stock went through the roof today. Oh my goodness. Look how much money I won. So it's a big casino. Don't rely on a casino for your retirement. Rely on cost cutting. Cost cutting is a surefire way of getting ahead. And it's a tax free way of getting ahead. And it's also a way that you're going to feel proud of because A, you'll be better at something, whether it's sewing or gardening or fixing cars, fixing lawnmowers, you name it. Whatever you pick to learn, you can get good at it. It's really not that hard. Most of these things that I've learned are really just a series of really simple things to learn. And there's no mystery involved. I didn't need Harry Potter to like imbue me with some talent to learn this stuff. And the other thing too is that I find that, when we learn stuff, it empowers us. It changes us. It's kind of like, heck, I can sew, or heck, I can change the oil in my car, or I can change the brakes on my car. Oh my gosh, holy cow! I just saved $500, and it cost me only $20 for the brake pads. So basically, when you start to realize how much money you can save for a lot of things that you can learn for yourself, especially with all the YouTube videos and things out there, you're going to realize that staying dependent on the system is a surefire way to stay enslaved to the system. And I would even say that over time, you're going to get more and more enslaved if you don't just get spit out the back end and turned into a destitute, like homeless person without any options. So anyway, that's something I'd like to talk about more on this channel too, but it's kind of an interesting topic and controversial. Yeah, so there's a lot to talk about, and I think that this channel, I hope that this channel, you will find it useful and take what advice you want. Try out the things that you want. It's up to you. It's your decision. So you can do it. And I did it and just took it one step at a time. Don't worry. I think that once you have a plan for getting out of the system, then you can realize that freedom is possible. But not only that, but living right livelihood. Living a life where you're trying to minimize your ecological footprint, so to speak. That's a life worth living, or at least striving for. And it is a striving, every day. Every day, you can learn a little bit more. You can grow a little more. You can, become a better homesteader, more self sufficient. You can become more free. And so the path of frugality, or the path of doing more with less, is one that has unbelievably good benefits. Benefits that are so good, you're not going to hear about it on YouTube in many places, or certainly not on mainstream media. You'll never see my lifestyle highlighted in somebody's sitcom or somebody's movie. No, you're only going to see the lifestyle that they want you to live, which is a wage slavery lifestyle, in my opinion. Maybe your life is different. Maybe your life is great. Maybe you don't need to live outside the grid. But I'll tell you what, I've done it. I live outside the grid, and I highly recommend it. All right, thanks again. Guess I'll hopefully talk to you soon. Bye.